Jaws hit the floor today when Pam Bondi tried to flip the script on Senator Dick Durbin and failed spectacularly. What started as a grilling turned into a full-blown unraveling as Bondi's excuses collapsed the moment real questions hit the table. Buckle up, because this hearing went from tense to explosive in seconds.
Not answered. In February, you made a public claim that the Epstein client list was, quote, sitting on my desk right now for review, end of quote. You then produced already public information and no client list at a major media event hosted at the White House. Attorney General Bondi, why did you publicly claim to have the Epstein client list waiting for your review and then produce nothing relevant to that claim?
Senator Durbin, if you listen to my entire clip on that, I said I had not reviewed it yet, that it was sitting on my desk along with the JFK files, the Martin Luther King files. And I said I had not yet reviewed it. And if you see our memo on Epstein, you will see, our memo on Epstein clearly points out that there was no client list, our July 6th memo. You also didn't let me respond to the HIDTA question. The budget transfers $196 million for high-intensity drug trafficking areas to the Office of Justice Programs, OJP. The Justice Department will continue to administer those grants under OJP in 2026.
Going back to the Epstein files, according to another whistleblower who made a protected disclosure to my office, you pushed the FBI to review approximately 100,000 Epstein-related records on an arbitrarily short deadline in March, and the FBI was directed to flag any documents that mentioned President Trump. Nothing came of that review until July when DOJ and FBI released an unsigned memo stating, quote, there's no incriminating client list. Why was the July 7th memo unsigned?
The July 7th memo came from the FBI and the Department of Justice. Director Patel answered those questions very clear. And, you know, Senator Durbin, I find it very interesting that you refused repeated Republican requests to release the Epstein flight logs in 2023 and 2024. You fought that. Did you take money from Reid Hoffman, campaign donations, who was a huge Epstein friend? Why did you fight for years? Why did you fight to not disclose the flight logs, Senator Durbin?
I can tell you I did not refuse. One of the senators here wished to produce those logs, and I asked her to put it in writing, and she never did.
Yeah, I think Senator Blackburn would quarrel with you on that.
Well, I will quarrel with you as to Reid, somebody that you mentioned I never heard of.
Reid Hoffman.
So who gave the order to flag records related to President Trump?
To flag records for President Trump?
To flag any records which included his name.
I'm not going to discuss anything about that with you, Senator.
Eventually, you're going to have to answer for your conduct in this. You won't do it today, but eventually you will. I yield, Mr. Chairman.
Pam Bondi walked into that hearing thinking she could dance around the truth, dodge direct questions, and throw a little political theater at Senator Dick Durbin. But the moment Durbin pressed her on her own words, her own public claims, the entire act fell apart. You could see it instantly, the hesitation, the backtracking, the sudden attempt to rewrite what she'd already said on camera. Durbin wasn't asking trick questions. He was asking basic accountability. If you announce to the world that the Epstein client list is sitting on your desk, then why show up with documents the public already had? Why claim you're reviewing files you've clearly never touched? And that's when Bondi tried the oldest GOP move in the book: deflect, distract, and throw out random accusations to avoid answering a single substantive question. She even tried turning the tables on Durbin, dragging in flight logs and donors, anything to shift attention away from the glaring holes in her story. But Durbin wasn't having it. Each time she dodged, he pulled her right back to the facts. Each time she tried to pivot, the contradictions got louder. And the moment she refused to answer the simplest question, who ordered the FBI to flag documents mentioning Trump, the room felt the weight of what she wasn't saying. This wasn't confidence. This wasn't competence. This was a scramble to protect someone, and everyone watching could see it. Republicans wanted Bondi to be their star witness. Instead, she became a case study in what happens when you play politics with an investigation and then get pressed by someone who came prepared. Durbin didn't just grill her, he exposed the chaos behind the scenes, the inconsistent stories, and the desperate attempts to hide behind process rather than truth. And Bondi's refusal to answer, that wasn't strength. That was a flashing warning sign that the GOP's entire narrative around the Epstein files is starting to crumble under its own weight. This hearing wasn't just heated, it was revealing. And Bondi's performance made it clear, when the lies run out, the stuttering begins.